Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, like, join it or something.
Eternals. A movie which I was never ever excited for, was not looking forward to. I finally got to see today, and oh my god. I don't know where to begin with how much I hate this movie! This movie was a massive, massive disappointment. And I really, really hate it. And guess what, guys? Do I think it's the worst MCU movie ever? Yes, I do. Even worse than was my least favourite, which was Captain Marvel. Yeah, this is definitely last place for me. Like, oh my god, right? This movie was an absolute joke. I don't know where to start with what I think was so bad about this movie, because it was so much full of bad qualities. Oh my god, like, it didn't work for me at all, guys. Oh god. I don't know what I was thinking, like, I've gone and wasted 157 minutes of my life watching this absolute bore fest. But yeah, I'm going to try and get through the good qualities of the movie first, guys. You know, I don't care about giving out spoilers, but yeah. So, I guess probably the only good qualities I can say is the visuals and special effects, I guess, are very good, you know. Visuals are very dazzling, and the music by Ramin Djawadi was great. You know, he's a great composer, but I'll always prefer his music on Game of Thrones and the first Iron Man movie as well, which he composed for. But oh my god, on some bad qualities, it's so many of them! Okay. Bad qualities, you know, the characters just didn't work for me, guys. Like, none of them interested me. I mean, guys, I've not even got a favourite character in this movie at all. Not in the slightest. Like, none of the Eternals interested me at all. I mean, the only character that I genuinely liked was Arishem, voiced by David Kay. I thought he was very good with his voice acting as him. You know? But none of the Eternals worked for me at all, guys. And, like, probably the biggest bad quality I have with this movie, guys, is that the plot of this movie ruins the whole point of my favourite movie of all time, Avengers Endgame. Because, right, you know, the character played by Salma Hayek, which is called Ajak, who is the lead of Eternals, you know, she states that, you know, Thanos' snap, which wiped out half of all in the universe, all life in the universe, you know, slowed down the emergence, which is, of course, of another Celestial, which is, you know, going to bring about the end of the world. And then guess what, guys? The snaps which, you know, saved everyone in Endgame have reawoken the emergence. So that basically means that, you know, you're making Endgame utterly pointless because you're bringing about new villains. When Tony Stark and Bruce Banner, they both snapped to save everyone and to kill Thanos and his army, you know? Like, what did they do? Like, what have they done? Like, they ruined Endgame with this. Like, so basically, you're making a Black Widow sacrifice on Vormir to get the Soul Stone all for nothing. You're making Bruce Banner snapping and permanently damaging his arm all for nothing. You're making Tony Stark dying for nothing when he killed Thanos and everyone else. God, I was furious with this. So yeah, and like, and also, guys, you know how I've been stating that, you know, after I see Spider-Man No Way Home, I'll be retiring from the MCU? Well, guess what, guys? This movie was definitely the nail in the coffin because it did not work for me. I hated it. It, you know, didn't interest me in the slightest. So, yeah, I will not be considering the MCU for definite after I see No Way Home in December. Other bad qualities. One bad quality I will say, guys, is, you know, the plot was so incredibly boring as hell. I'm not kidding, right? Because the movie had so many slow-paced acts, right? I'm not kidding. Where there was less action and just characters talking. It got so boring and, like, it made me nearly fall asleep. Like, I was so bored. Like, I even checked my watch to see if there was any notifications while I was watching it, you know? But, you know, because I was so bored and I kept, you know, nearly on the verge of passing out. But, you know, I luckily stayed awake, guys. But yeah, it was just so stupid how I made it so boring. Like, it was pretty much on the same level of boredom as X-Men Dark Phoenix, as I call it, you know, where there was a lack of action. And it got so slow, like, the movie felt like it was lasting for several hours instead of, you know, 157 minutes, you know? Like, I don't know what they were thinking making this movie. I really don't know. But yeah, it never worked for me at all. So yeah, it was just so stupid. And plus as well, right, they also did many things as well which were very unfavourable to the comics, which were by, you know, Jack Kirby, who created the Eternals. For example, guys, you know like how they gender swap Taskmaster and Black Widow? Get this, they gender swap 3 Eternals. For example, they gender swapped Ajax, you know, the leader, because in the comics she's a man. They also gender swapped Makari, the speeder, as well, because in the comics is a male. And I'd also believe that Makari is also not deaf either in the comics, like how Lauren Ridloff is. So yeah, and I also as well believe that they also gender swapped another one. I don't remember who it was who they gender swapped alongside. You know, Makari and Ajax. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we gender swapped several of them, which, you know, really annoyed me. Like, because you're basically going against the comics by Jack Kirby. Like, it's so unfaithful to him. Of course, rest in peace to him, you know, because he died, you know, many years ago. Oh yeah, Sprite as well. Sprite has been, you know, changed a lot in the comics as well, for different genders. And in this film, they made a female as well. And Sprite was also a very annoying character, guys. I did not like Sprite. You know, just ridiculous. Like, I really did not like her one bit at all. Like, she was just annoying, like, not interesting, and it was also stupid how, you know, because get this, guys, the main villain of the movie, you know, is actually Richard Madden's character, Icarus, you know, who's the knockoff of Superman. Yeah, it's him, he's the villain. And he knew all about the emergence all this time, and guess what, guys, right? When it comes to Salma Hayek, right, you know how the trailers make us think she has lots of screen time, and get this, guys, right, she dies early into the movie, and she only appears primarily through flashbacks, and of course from Sprite's illusions, because Icarus kills her. So, like, the writing of the movie just, you know, didn't work for me in the slightest. It really let me down. Hated it. So, like, you really wasted the talent of Salma Hayek, who is a great actress. So, yeah, I'll always prefer her far more in a Puss in Boots movie. Far more in that role. Or where she, you know, voiced Kitty Softpaws. Like, I found her character much better in that movie than this, you know. Like, it was disappointing. But, yeah. And also, another thing as well, guys, is also Fastos, the character played by Brian Henry, because get this right, guys, compared to the comics where, you know, you know, he's married to a woman, they make him in a relationship with a man in this movie, you know, they make him gay. And, like, I'm thinking, you know, what are you doing? You're going against the words of Jack Kirby here by changing Fastos. Like, why are you doing this? Not to mention, Fastos was also hardly in the movie as well, guys, so that was stupid. I mean, neither was Makari either. She didn't have much screen time either, which annoyed me. Wasn't really much a fan of Fiona, I played by Angelina Jolie, because I didn't like how all of a sudden she kept turning on over the Eternals all of a sudden, like, abruptly. And Gilgamesh had to bond with her, you know, to make her feel better. And also, what I hate about Gilgamesh, guys, is he's the strongest Eternal, and he gets killed. I hated that. So, like, what a waste of a pretty interesting character. You know, pretty stupid, and, when it comes to a deviant called Crow, you know, I didn't really like him much either, and, like, when he's, you know, killed Gilgamesh, and he gets, like, the big physique that Gilgamesh has, you know, from his powers, he looked way too much like an alien knockoff of Ultron, a little bit, you know, the MCU Ultron. He looked like him a bit, which was stupid. But yeah, this movie was just so stupid. Hated it. And also, there's also another character that I think was also really incredibly wasted, guys, which was none other than Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight, because unlike many of the Eternals, guys, he's hardly in the movie. He was incredibly underused. Because he only appeared in, like, you know, 2 scenes, you know, at the beginning and the end, and also via a phone call with Cersei, played by Gemma Chan. When it comes to Gemma Chan, guys, you know, I think she's way more interesting as Nymeria in Raya and the Last Dragon, even as Minerva in Captain Marvel as well, and also as Quintessa in Transformers The Last Night, and also in her guest role in Doctor Who as well, you know. Way better than this role, definitely. And I'll always prefer Richard Madden way more as Robb Stark on Game of Thrones. And I will also, without a doubt, prefer Kit Harington as Jon Snow on Game of Thrones as well. And also in his voice work in House of Training Dragon and as Eric and also as Admiral Koch in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, even though I don't like that game that much, you know? But yeah, Dame Whitman was incredibly wasted. He was hardly in a movie, guys. And like, that let me down because I like Kit Harington as an actor. He's a great actor and his talent was incredibly wasted in this movie. So yeah, like, they should have, you know, saved him for his own movie, guys. They should not have included him in this movie. They should have made him in his own movie. Like, it just made no sense what we did with you know, Black Knight in this movie, you know. Like, you know, small screen time, hardly in the movie. Like, that annoyed me. So yeah, the bad quality for the movie is, you know, how the writing was terrible. You know, they ruined they ruined my favourite movie of all time, Avengers Endgame. And, you know, killing off Gilgamesh as well, and also... you know, changing the gender of many of the Eternals. You know, they already made that mistake with Taskmaster in Black Widow, and look at that time, because Taskmaster was a horrible villain in Black Widow. The only gender swap character that I can tolerate in the MCU is probably the Ancient One, because compared to, you know, the Eternals and Taskmaster, especially compared to Taskmaster, Ancient One was way more interesting, had way more personality, and yeah, she was played way more better, you know, by Tilda Swinton than any of these characters. And then another thing that I also did not like, guys, was the mid-credits and post-credits scenes. Because, get this, guys, right? The movie ends incredibly abruptly. Because after, you know, Cersei has frozen, you know, the emerging Celestial, which, you know, was confusing as hell. I didn't like the ending, really. And also, Ikaris kills himself because he flies into a sun, guys, as well. You know. Like, why couldn't he just, you know, like, accept his defeat and, like, be arrested or something, you know, go into, like, be imprisoned, you know, or whatever, you know? So, yeah, like, it ends with, you know, Cersei and, you know, and Dane on, like, some sort of hill in London, and then all of a sudden Arishem kidnaps Cersei, and he takes others such as, you know, Fastos and Kingo, who is, you know, the one who's, you know, who's playing, like, a Bollywood actor. He's pretending to be an actor. And apparently, guys, the actor who plays, you know, Kumail Nanjiani was pretending to be, like, you know, John McClane from the Die Hard films, you know, but in my opinion, he was nothing like John McClane. Nowhere near as heroic as John McClane from Die Hard. No way. Absolutely nothing like John McClane. I didn't really like him very much either, to be honest. He was a bit bland, really, in my opinion. It was also stupid how he abandoned the Eternals as well, with, you know, well, towards the end, but luckily he came back later, you know, to do the whole, you know, uni mind thing, as it's called. So, like, yeah, I really don't like this one bit. And, like, you know, so after, you know, Arishem kidnaps them, you know, that's when the movie ends. The movie ended really abruptly, like, you know, like, I didn't like that at all. Like, when it comes to cliffhangers, Infinity War did a cliffhanger way better than this movie, in my opinion. So, yeah. And, like, you know, when it comes to mid-credit scenes, you know, give this, guys, because Fina, Makari, and Druig are, like, you know, travelling through, you know, space on their ship called the Dormo. Speaking of Druig, guys, I didn't like him either. He was also poorly written and poorly developed and incredibly bland, in my opinion. Did not like his character at all. He got on my nerves. And they're visited by, you know, get this, guys, they introduce Thanos' brother. Yeah. Like, that is just so weird, like, you know, because if Thanos really had a family, he'd have mentioned it in the Infinity Saga. He never did. He never said he had a brother. And get this, guys, right? His brother is played by Harry Styles of One Direction. So, like, I'm thinking, you know, like, really? Why would you cast Harry Styles, of all people, as him, you know? Like, I never thought he'd be an actor because, you know, I'm aware he was only been in the Dunkirk movie. I've never seen it, though, but, you know, really? Like, oh, God. I'll always prefer Harry Styles as a singer, really, to be honest. And also, he had some sort of very weird troller sitting with him called Pip, voiced by Patton Oswalt, and that was just so weird. Like, oh, God, the CGI took out that troll looked really horrible, and, like, Patton Oswalt, I'll always prefer him way more as the Koenig twins in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and also as MODOK in his, you know, his own show. And in many other roles he's played as well, but yeah. Oh, God. Didn't like that scene. And there's also a post-credit scene, guys, where we get to see Dane, and he's like, you know, opening an old chest from his ancestors, which contains a sword called the Ebony Blade, and then all of a sudden, we hear a voice in the background, guys, you know, asking if he's ready for it, and get this, guys, I looked up who it was, and guess what? It's Blade. Yeah, the MCU Blade played by Marshall Ali, it was him. So, yeah. Like, that was basically teasing the Blade movie, and give us, guys, you know, even if I wasn't retiring from the MCU after see Spider-Man, I would not be watching the Blade movie because, you know, Blade, you know, is being rated PG-13, which is so stupid because the Deadpool 3 movie is being rated R. Yeah, I'm not part of the MCU apparently, but I'm not watching that because I'm retiring from the MCU, but, you know, like, why would you make one film R, but make another dark character like Blade PG-13, and even a laugh? Like, that is just stupid hypocrisy right there. Like, oh my god. So, yeah, that annoyed me, guys, how they included Blade in that scene via a voice cameo, you know. That's why, guys, I'll always stick to the Wesley Snipes movies. Yes, and get this, guys, right, even though I do hate Blade Trinity, I'd rather watch that over this movie. Yeah, because that did have some entertaining moments compared to this movie. Like, it didn't entertain me, it didn't work for me in the slightest, you know. Ruining Endgame, you know, going against, you know, the comics with the characters, you know. Like, I don't know why they had to make, you know, Fastos, you know, gay, because, you know, you already have, you know, gay characters in the comics like Wiccan and Hulkling, so do a film about them for God's sake. You've already introduced Wiccan in WandaVision, so why can't you do a movie about Wiccan, you know, and how he meets Hulkling? I mean, even Lego Marvel's Avengers included Wiccan and Hulkling in your quest missions together, you know, so why couldn't the MCU do like a movie about Wiccan and Hulkling, you know? Just so stupid. Really, you know, the writing of this movie, so questionable and stupid. Like I said, the only good quality was the visuals or special effects and the music. But, guys, it is definitely the worst MCU movie ever, and I hate it. I don't know what I was thinking watching the movie, because I wasted £14 on the ticket for this movie. Yeah, I wasted £14. What a waste of money that was. And here's how I'm going to rank it, guys. So, because I rate Captain Marvel probably like a 4 out of 10, you know, before, this movie I hate way more because I found Captain Marvel more entertaining than this, I'm going to give this movie a 1 out of 10. So, yeah. Because I prefer... In fact, the entire Infinity Saga movies were way better than this movie. Even Shang-Chi was miles better than this. Even Black Widow as well. So, and Let It Be Carnage as well, even though it's not part of the MCU. Like, I'd rather watch Shang-Chi over this movie, because Shang-Chi was way more entertaining and had way more fight scenes and way more interesting characters, so yeah. Anyway, guys, so, yeah, that's me doing my rant review for Eternals, you know, just getting back, you know, like I said in the title, what have they done? They've ruined, and, like, this is definitely nailed the coffin for me stopping watching MCU, so yeah. I mean, if you guys like it, that's fine, that's your opinion, which I'll always respect, because I respect all opinions, so yeah. But yeah, please respect my opinion. So you know, drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to all in the comments what you guys thought of Eternals review. We'll see what your thoughts are on it. Also, be sure to join the team by pressing subscribe. When videos come future, once again, remember you can press join by using a piece of a laptop, or you can click on the description. And I love you 3000.